Good way to start it off. Good cough.
Smoke you another one.
Good start.
Yeah.
Good start.
Welcome, guys. This is the pilot episode, first episode of Move the Goalpost. If you happen to stumble upon this podcast, it's a bunch of friends here. We're just, want to chat it up, some sports and whatever else we end up on. I'll go ahead and introduce some of the fellow hosts we got. First I'll say I'm Cameron Barbado. We got Mr. Rusty Yates with the Georgia background there. We got the one and only Thomas Bernston with the beautiful locks. And we got Mr. Logan Cantrell with some fresh ink on him, which we won't let him show all of them off here. But yeah, he's hurting, but he's powering through. A little disclaimer. Yeah, I had a flu last week, so kind of like a flu game, I guess. But yeah, we're not experts by any means. So if you stumbled on this podcast thinking you found some experts, I wouldn't say that you're probably in the right place. But I think we know more than Nick Wright. Probably more than Stephen A.
Nick
in certain
Wright.
aspects. Yeah,
Stephen A.
so we got them beat. But we're going to chat it up about the Super Bowl first. We'll kick it over here. We'll let Rusty kind of give his promo of it, since one of your teams is playing the Georgia Bulldogs in green. So how do you feel, Rusty, about this game or not?
Well, I think that Saquon is definitely going to be an X factor tomorrow night. He has, I don't know how many games in a row that he's got a touchdown, but it seems like every time I watch them play, he's putting up one or two a game. The defense is pretty special. It's kind of heartbreaking that Vic Fangio left Miami last year to go to Philly, but I think he definitely he got a better roster, with him this year. Of course, they're in the Super Bowl this year. They weren't going to be in the Super Bowl with Miami, that's for sure.
I'm surprised you didn't jump over with me.
No,
I
I can't.
All Georgia Bulldog team there.
Well, they do have a lot of Georgia players, but if you're drafting to win, that's who you're going after, is Georgia defense. So hopefully Logan will get some Georgia players this year for his defense.
We need players from everybody. We'll take some from the deaf and the blind. They'll be better than what we had out there last year.
Well, you need Walker, that's for
Myles
sure.
Garrett. No, Myles Garrett. What?
Or Michael Williams.
Too pricey.
You wouldn't trade a first for him?
Yes, Cameron. We're a 5-win team. We don't be trading.
Yeah, but for $5 million a year for the next 2 years, I want to trade him.
Yeah,
I'll trade my first for him.
He's going to want an extension wherever he gets traded to, though.
He's not going to be playing on a $5 million contract.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd want it right off there. It's got 2 years, so.
I think he would. I don't think he's looking for be moving around a lot at this point in his career. I think he's planning on his next team being his final team.
It could be true. You were kind of crushing my dreams a little bit.
Anyways, real quick, you said we weren't experts, but I don't know where you're going to get that kind of expert analysis that says the Eagles have a better defense than the Dolphins did. So,
it is true.
If you came here for experts, you might just be in the right place.
The point I'm making on that is, we were terrible on defense first half of the year last year. I was so upset. I was like, I thought Vic Fangio came here to make things better, and we didn't have bad players. We had Van Ginkel, we had Phillips until he got hurt, Jalen Ramsey, Holland. We had guys, and then eventually, I was like, okay, well, we're starting to get somewhere. And then by the end of the year, our defense was better than our offense. Well, he leaves. We lost 6 starters on our defensive roster. And, of course, he goes to the Eagles, and they have, they're loaded. And now our defense is garbage. So, that's the expert analysis. What I'm getting at is here.
I love it.
I wish he would have stayed, honestly, but I honestly don't know if he would have been able to do anything with our defense.
It's always garbage, man. Was you more disappointed in your defense this year, or that year that y'all made the playoffs?
Well,
he was probably happier with this year's defense.
I was expecting the defense to be garbage this year. What threw me off guard was the offense and how out of sync we played all year. So, but you don't have an offensive line, and you don't go into free agency and get anybody for the offensive line, you're not going to be able to protect your quarterback, and we couldn't do that.
Fun fact: Big Fangio, I don't think he's beat Patrick Mahomes one time in his whole career coaching against him.
I've seen that.
Well, I got bad news for you. He's not going to beat him this week.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is kind of weird though that like everybody, and I understand why to some degree, but it's gonna be weird it's weird that everybody's writing the Eagles off. Like, I know one person said the Eagles are gonna win.
I don't think it's as much about the Eagles as it is just the Chiefs.
Yeah, we've watched this movie before.
It's just been going on for 7 years
You
now.
all see where Micah Parsons was in an interview with Derrick Henry, and he said, "Listen, if I hit 30 and I don't have a ring yet," he started doing the Arrowhead chomp. He said, "I'm going to Kansas City." Yeah,
Of course he
and
did.
Derrick Henry's like, "Man, I can't do that. I ain't doing that." But
I used to think Micah Parsons was pretty cool, but I don't know. Ever since he got this podcast, everything he
The more
says is
podcast
stupid.
clips I see is just, I'm good.
Yeah,
it's on HBO too.
worse
though, ain't
takes
it?
than Rusty. Is it?
I think it is,
I couldn't tell you.
which is crazy to think about. But
He has a podcast on HBO.
yeah, it's his podcast.
Wow. That many people are listening to him. Okay.
It's America's
Yeah.
team.
What do you got, Thomas? I know you're like me. It's kind of hard to watch this, having the expectation of being in it, but you have to have some, you say.
Yeah, both of us so
Yeah.
far away. Yeah, I think the Eagles will probably lead in every statistical category, lead after the third quarter, probably up until the last 2 minutes. Probably going to be a controversial call, and then
I was going to
Mahomes
say
wins
they
on the final
probably
drive.
lead in the penalty category too.
In the
Damn,
playoffs for sure.
Did you get the script leaked to you, Thomas?
Yeah, actually, the last 3 years. But speaking of Saquon, you're talking about Saquon, Rusty. Did you guys see what his average touchdown yardage was? 32.5.
I think I did.
Yeah, like his average
follow
touchdown was
Instagram or
32.5
something.
yards. Isn't that crazy?
Could they? You think there could have been somewhat of an argument, kind of how we have Genty and Hunter? We could have probably made that argument for Allen and Saquon this year, because Saquon had one of those like special years as well. It's probably one of the better running back years I can remember since. Was it the LT year? Was that after Sean Alexander's MVP year?
Alexander
so,
was
I
06,
think
wasn't it?
so. And then LT
Mhm.
had that really big year when the Chargers were like 13-0
I think it was after.
to start out. But I mean, isn't?
I think
it
that
might
was
have
after.
been. Do you think those? I mean, those are like the last two I can think of. Like just maybe AP probably had a year or two there, maybe.
Chris Johnson had
Chris Johnson
2,500
had a good
yards.
year.
Chris Johnson, but they still
Yeah.
suck though, didn't they?
They weren't great.
They weren't great, but he was good.
I mean, with Saquon, they're in the Super Bowl. Alexander, they were in the Super Bowl. LT had the Chargers like undefeated that one year. Those are just some notable like running back performances or season-long performances I can think of that
Yeah.
resulted
I mean,
in wins too.
the Triple Crown and the receiving Triple Crown is more rare than 2,000 rushing yards, though.
You want to know who has a triple crown that's not in the Hall of Fame? Steve
See a
freaking
video
Smith.
I seen in the group chat. I think it was that Jake. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was like I think it was Jake Delhomme was telling a story about Smith, and he was talking about how he went and he had the playbook in there, and Smith was like, "Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
not
he's
watching.
right,
Yeah,
like,
I
I
saw
ain't-
it though.
it's not like running these dumb plays," and then he pretty much said, "Aren't you the leader in this, this, and this? Those dumb plays must work." But, yeah.
He's the best, man.
Who do you
Absolute
have,
best.
Logan? And while you're on it, go ahead and tell us how you feel about that Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame inductees.
Well, like I said, I mean, you just can't bet against the Chiefs at this point until they don't win. I just feel like they're going to win. I mean, since the Chiefs have been good, my team's been terrible. So like, I don't hate them like you guys do. I understand why you do, especially Thomas. But I mean, the Eagles are probably going to do what they usually do. Like Thomas said, they'll start out hot, and then it'll come down to the last drive, and Mahomes will get a phantom flag and keep a drive alive, and then Harrison Butker will probably win the game. So, I mean, my money won't be on the Eagles. As far as the Hall of Fame goes, I'm pretty upset. I think this is Smitty's third year, second or third. Either way, anybody that retires in the top 10 in any statistical like a major statistical category in the NFL should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Let alone when you think about he played on a run-first offense his entire career. Jake Delhomme was his best quarterback until Cam showed up, and I think they played together 2 years. Triple Crown. When Smitty got it, nobody got it. Nobody had gotten one before Smitty, or a long time after Smitty did. I don't know the exact numbers. But Smitty's one of the greatest ever to it. I don't know. I still don't know why actually, I do know why, because he was a jerk to the media a lot of the time. It's mostly why he didn't, why he's not in there yet. But, and then, go ahead.
He was good in Baltimore too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was still good even when he hung it up. But then Luke Augusta Kuechly not being a first ballot Hall of Famer is a damn shame. What does it even mean? Like,
I agree. We're talking about one of the best linebackers of all time.
Ever. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive MVP his second year. He never had a season where he wasn't. No, that's not true. He had one season. He had one season where he wasn't an All-Pro. He got second team All-Pro in his 8th year and said, "Nah, I suck now. I got to get out of here. I got to hang him up." I mean, he was a machine. All the stories you see about Luke, about how him calling out 60% of the other team's plays.
Yeah, I seen. I was
That's
watching
crazy.
that video, and like Winston was on there talking about it. He's like, he knew all the plays,
Mm-hmm.
and he probably knew more than what Winston knew. Honestly, but
Well,
there's like a very select few linebackers probably to ever play that have had like that level of IQ. I feel like, and
he was so good.
I'd probably put Ray Lewis up there as well. I mean, he was known for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I love Patrick Willis, I think he was like physically and like skill set wise, not IQ, like skill set wise, I think him and Luke was like pretty close.
I mean, they basically have
Yeah.
the same
But
stats.
I don't think that he.
Did Willis ever win?
I don't.
Defensive
I don't
player
know
of
if
the
he did or not. Off the top of my head, because he also played again.
The only difference in their stats is like Luke had way more interceptions and Patrick
Well, I was
had
going
way
to say
more
the
sacks.
IQ game, the mental game. I think Luke has an advantage on him there.
Right. Even with the stuff that you can measure with stats, though, he still is a Hall
Yeah.
of Famer. I feel like.
And he was real. I mean, what Tommy was it? Tommy Davis or Thomas Davis? Like he was a good linebacker, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. Like, see, I guess the thing about Patrick Willis is he's next to Navarro Bowman, and so I think that helped out a lot too, because you couldn't guard both of them.
Well, Thomas's biggest problem was he had back-to-back ACL injuries in the same knee, and that really just derailed the first, I don't know, probably 60% of his career. After he got all those lined out, he was really good too. He actually, there was a play in I think it was 15. We're playing Seattle in the playoffs. It was in the playoffs. He broke his arm in the middle of the play, and he like snapped it like back to where it would go, and then he tackled Marshawn Lynch at like the height of beast mode.
That's pretty impressive.
Thomas was awesome too. He's up for the Hall of Fame next year. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's like I said the other day, like there's that level, and like you got your Hall of Famers, and you got guys that are like the Hall of like very, very good. Like Thomas is more in that.
Hall of really good seasons, but
Mm-hmm.
like not a Hall of Fame player.
Because I know
But there was a Panther that did get inducted today.
who was that?
Panther legend Jared
Oh, yeah.
Allen.
I always think of it as a Viking.
Yeah.
Oh, Forgot
I was
about.
thinking,
Did y'all
Yeah,
watch
he's
that
I was
video
a
I
joke.
put in
Rusty
there
Cameron, that was
about
a joke.
like when they all got the like they were all notified that they got in? You know, they always have some.
I didn't see.
Oh, well,
I've not
they
watched
have.
it, yeah.
They always have somebody like go in and tell them. You know, it's like this big moment, and for like everybody else, it was a pretty emotional moment. And Alan like opened the door and he's like, "It should have been 3 years ago." Come on in.
But he's not wrong either. That's
not
another
seen
first
that
ballot Hall of
Yeah,
Famer.
I forgot about how dominant he was. I was watching
Dude,
his highlights and looking at some of his stats the other day.
Is he like top 5?
And
I think so.
I know he's top 10. I'm pretty sure he's top 5.
another one that was a pretty big hot topic today was Eli Manning not getting in. So that was an interesting one.
Eli Manning's not
See,
a
that
Hall
was
of
the
Famer.
debate, you know, because
he will be.
He's not a Hall of Famer. He will be in, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
I'll say this, and I'm trying to think who said it. I want to say it was Adam Schefter, maybe. I think it was Adam Schefter. He said, you know, when he used to be a voter, the one question that somebody told him or whatever to ask himself was, can you write the history of the NFL and not have this person in it? And like with that logic, that does kind of make sense with Eli. 'Cause, I mean, you can't. You talk about the history of the NFL, and you got like the Patriots team that was undefeated, and Eli beat them, and then that second time even Eli beat them, and among all the greatness that Tom Brady and Belichick has with all the winning, like Eli has beat them twice. And I don't even like Eli, first off. But it's hard, like, when you think of it in that way, like Adam Schefter does. Like, he talks about just the history of the game. And I think when you look at it like that, you have to have him, like, he has to be a part of it in some way. But he is, like, your talent-wise, probably not your Hall of Fame caliber. Yeah.
Well, Joe Namath was kind of the same way, right?
Yeah.
Terry, too.
Oh, yeah, Terry Bradshaw.
If you look up Terry's numbers are
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, I may have actually been thinking about him.
Namath wasn't really good either.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had the prediction, though.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would probably put Eli in. I mean,
He will be in eventually.
I'd probably put Eli above Terry and Joe. I would. But I mean, the teams that they were on that Eli had were good. I think that the Patriots that year that they played when Randy Moss was on that team, that Patriots team was way better. They just one of those games. You know, you lose.
That's why you play the game.
But I mean, they did have Strahan, they had Plaxico. Who else? I can't
Tuck,
remember everybody on that team.
Justin
Brandon
Tuck on that
Jacobs,
team, I think.
Justin Tuck. I mean, they had a good team, but I mean, that Patriots team was unreal that year. So
one of the best ever. And there was a lot of Eli. I mean, I was showing Miriam highlights the other day about it because she really loves when I show her football highlights.
that is awesome.
And watching some of those plays, like that was Eli just willing his way to Super Bowls. It was pretty awesome. Like to not be that athletic, to watch him like throwing guys off of him, eluding tackles, and making left-handed throws downfield, and it was pretty crazy. It was awesome.
Well, I mean, the Giants that year, and even the second time, I think, they had an elite pass rush, and an elite pass rush can get you a lot of places. You know, I think that's why I've been kind of joking around about getting Myles Garrett, or at least getting at some sort of other edge for us. And Thomas is in the same boat, I know for sure, because you got Hendrickson on one side, and if you just had somebody on the other side, and I don't know off the top of my head who y'all's edge is, Logan or Rusty, but
I would just like one edge. I'm not even going to be picky and ask for two. I just want 11 NFL caliber players on the field at one time. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Hey, Chop Robinson, we just drafted from Penn State. I think he's going to be really good. He played good this year. So
I even heard him.
I think we're going to be all right. He was good. He was good all the time.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with a Penn State defensive player.
That's not true. We do pick a Penn State defensive end one time, and he was terrible.
Well, if y'all pick Abdul Carter, you're going to be fine this year.
The last few
by the
years.
time 8 gets there.
The last few years.
It wasn't that long ago, Thomas. This was like 3 years ago.
Who are you talking about?
Exactly.
I saw today that
we don't even know.
you know, kind of like what Logan just said, he'll probably be gone.
What's his name, Cameron? Real
Penn-
quick, sorry.
Penn State
What's his name?
guy.
The guy that went to y'all's team
Oh, Gross Matos.
that came from us.
Yeah,
Gross, yeah. Yetur
Yeah.
Gross Matos.
he's
I've
actually
never
done
heard
pretty
of him.
well. We'll
Exactly.
probably keep him.
He had, you know why? Because he's a 4-3 end. We drafted him and put him in a 3-4.
Yeah, yeah, he'll be like he's not going to start next year because I'm assuming that we will get
He's
an edge, especially with Salah back. But like he's a good piece to come in. Yeah.
He's a rotation piece.
Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Oh, talking about Abdul Carter. Yeah, I saw today where they have him rated as one of the highest prospects ever. People said today that I was looking at said they have him higher than Micah Parsons. They think he'll be better than Micah. Which you always get like this hype like right before the draft and stuff. You never know what to believe. But where he's been consistent playing at this level for years, and this is really, I think, the first year, might have been this year, might have been the year before, but like his first true edge year that he played, like off the ball linebacker there, like his freshman year maybe.
That's all
yeah,
Micah did
I mean,
too,
they're
wasn't it? He
so
wasn't like
similar.
he came out as like a linebacker.
It wasn't even Dallas. He plays, kind of like that Dallas too. They'll play him on the edge and really just play him wherever they think that he's needed. And it's it's special
Athlete.
to have somebody like that. I would love for us to get him. The only way that I think that we could stand a chance of getting him is if he would fall to 4. And maybe we could try, and I think everybody would be trying to trade with the Patriots at that point because the Patriots, their need is definitely an offensive tackle. That is their big glaring need. Now they could use an Abdul Carter or Mason Graham because they're not in a position to turn away good talent. But if you're the Patriots, you can move back to 8 or 11 and maybe get some more draft picks too. I could see them doing that. I think that would be your first, really 4 or 5. Like the Jaguars are definitely going to go for a defensive player. But your Patriots, Jags, Jets, and Raiders, that's your spots right there if somebody wants to try to trade up. But
Cam and Shadur are going top 3.
possibly.
I think Travis will also be top 3. I don't think Carter gets past 4. I don't know who's setting at 4, but he's not getting past 4.
Yeah, I just don't. And the big question is you have Sam Darnold out there. You have Geno Atkins that's potentially people have talked about being on the move.
You mean Geno Smith?
Not Geno Atkins.
That will
That'd be a
Yeah,
heck of
Geno Atkins.
that'd be
You
a
mean
heck of a
Geno
quarterback
with the
situation.
food truck and Van Zandt?
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, he's up for the Hall of Fame next year.
Well, Geno Smith, so you'll have Geno Smith potentially too. So if any of those teams get one of those 2 quarterbacks, then they're going to go defense or trade back. It's a very fascinating draft.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for the Patriots, honestly. Getting Carter at 4 is a great pick, or they have so much that they need right now. If they trade that pick for 2 first-round picks, you get 2 good players, help build your team. I don't think there's a wrong move that they can make with that unless they draft somebody terrible, like an
The
Anthony
only thing they
Bennett.
don't need is quarterback. Like everything else is on the board right now.
That's true. I don't think I told my pick, but I'm going with the Eagles. Do I think they're going to win? No, probably not.
No.
But it even pains me to say that I want the Eagles to win. We talked about before we started recording about I mentioned talking about KD and the Warriors and felt like justice wasn't served. Because they ended up winning. And it's not even that it's real justice, but it's just like my personal bias. I feel like looking back on these years, I'm going to try. It's going to be painful because no matter what we do in the future, it's going to be like, man, the Chiefs they still won those 3 Super Bowls, if not 4 going forward. and it's just
No, they're not winning next
they
year.
might not, but you just can't count them out. To be honest with you, you can't count them out because Spagnola's over there. It's not even that. I feel like if he wasn't there, I don't think they would do that well. That's been the biggest X factor, I think. Now, when Pat gets to the playoffs, Pat's been
I don't think it's
great. But before then, like he's not that much better than anybody else, but their defense has been solid.
I don't think it's any
They
one
picked-
person. I think it's their entire coaching staff and a lot of the players. They're just all so smart. They manage the clock so perfectly and always do the right plays at the right time. It's just a perfect system.
Their defense has been good. I was looking it up earlier. They have talking about like what Saquon can do versus them, and he's hands down the best running back in the league. But they've not given up nothing this year on the ground. Like, I think the highest total I saw was like 120 or something. But we gave up 120 before halftime one game.
Well, it's been like that the past 2 years. Honestly, like I said, I think that.
Well, they've got the best interior defensive lineman in the
Oh
NFL.
yeah,
That
yeah.
helps.
Jones. Yep,
It doesn't hurt.
Second, probably in Philadelphia.
he's sick.
Hey, don't sleep on my boy now. He missed all year, but he did break the NFL record for tackles last year.
Brown. Yeah, y'all paid him pretty penny too, didn't you?
Yeah, and then he just sat out all year. Like, we just get hurt in week one.
That seems to happen with you guys. Well, I guess that's kind of our picks for the Super Bowl. What do y'all think about the halftime show? Is it going to be any good? I mean, Russ, you're your big music buff. What do you think about the halftime show this year?
Honestly, I mean, it's Kendrick. I like Kendrick. His new album's not bad. I'm a little over this "Not Like Us" ordeal.
You've not heard it 75,000 times?
I've heard it. I've heard the explicit version about 1 million times, and now, like, I guess kids are starting to pick up on it, and that there's a clean version of it, and that's what I'm on now. Mason's huge on rap, so that's what he wants to listen to, and I'm so sick of it. And I think it's gonna be good. I think he'll come out and he'll have there's some rumored surprise, and
It's
I
great.
was gonna say that.
I hope it's Drake.
I was
I
gonna
really
say
do.
that.
I hope it's Drake, and I hope Drake comes out and they sing "Not Like Us" together. Like, how funny would that be? Like, that would be.
It would be so much
comical.
better if they had a ring or something that would come up through the field and it's like celebrity death match. I think I'd prefer that probably more than the football game.
They just balk the entire 14 minutes or whatever that the halftime show is.
What's
I
going to
think it'll
happen
be
is
fine, though. I think it'll be fine. I think Kendrick's good. I don't know. I think it's going to have a mixed reaction from people. Not everybody. His music's not for everybody. So I think there's going to be a lot of people disappointed with it, but I think if you like rap or you like Kendrick, you're probably going to like it. So
I mean, I don't know why we're pretending that rap is good live. Like,
it's not.
It's just not. Like, and that's just what we keep getting for the Super Bowls.
I mean, the Eminem 50 Cent,
Live was terrible, but it was just the experience.
It was
just the fact that you had
the
all
nostalgia.
those guys in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You had all those guys on the same stage, and like you're just like, this is awesome. But when you like look back on it, like 50 Cent was literally upside down, and he didn't look like 50 Cent did when he was upside down in 2003.
He looked like
the
75
video.
Cent now.
Yeah, look, yeah, quarter pounder Cent maybe. I
Dollar
don't know.
50 Cent.
I think it'll be fine, but yeah, rap live is not good.
What's going to happen is Drake's going to come out as a special guest. Drake versus Kendrick rap battle, and J. Cole. They're going to have a camera in the back, and J. Cole's going to be standing in the back.
Pretty neat.
I mean,
Russ would lose his mind.
he's my favorite, so I would be like, that's
Oh, listen,
awesome.
hey, I'm with that's my goat too.
Do you think Lil Wayne would come, or do you think he's like,
No,
I think he came out and said he wasn't coming.
oh, did he?
him and Drake are tied, aren't they?
Yeah. I I was thinking more along the lines because it should have been him doing the
For
halftime
sure.
show in New Orleans.
Wouldn't he the rumored guy though?
Right, that's
Like,
what I
what-
was saying. Like, I'm wondering if he would, if Kendrick asked him, because I think he's pretty upset that he wasn't asked.
I would.
Well, that would definitely put a wedge between Drake and Lil Wayne,
hmm
because I know Drake's still pretty pissed off to LeBron. I seen it on Instagram. Like, there's one of his songs he references LeBron, and then like he changed the lyrics instead of saying like 6 or 23 to 6 or 6 to 23 like I'm LeBron. He says not LeBron. So he's still kind of pissed off that LeBron was listening to Not Like Us and like getting down on the court that one time, and but it would be crazy if Lil
It's
Wayne.
just a
did.
song.
I mean,
It is. It's just
it's
a
not
song.
that deep.
it's just
Like,
a song,
does-
but he also gets called a pedophile
He
like
d-
repeatedly.
Well,
Like, that's
what
a pretty big accusation.
Well, that's what I told Mariah this morning. Or today we were walking somewhere, and I was like, "Isn't it crazy that the biggest song of last year, and that won 5 Grammys, which Grammys don't really matter, it literally it's literally talking about a guy being called a pedophile, and that like striking a chord, and it's probably A minor, like."
it's,
What world are we living in here? Like,
So-
this is not.
what does the clean version of that song sound like? Is my
It just
question.
don't have any rap.
He
it
didn't
just don't
rap
have
at all.
any curse words.
It's just the beat.
It literally like is bleep bleep not like us, bleep bleep not like us. I mean, it's not great, but listen, it's better than the other version.
He
But it's
came
still-
out and said he's singing it, didn't he? Or was
I
that
don't
just like
think
a
he-
fake report that I saw?
He's not came out and said that he's not really came out and said that he's doing anything.
Yeah,
But there
I
is a
thought they said-
lawsuit.
Yeah, I was thinking they were like told him not to do it, so he probably
he's going
definitely
to.
should.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
crazy if you
He's
think he's
going
not.
to like. That's the biggest song. Like,
What are they gonna
right,
do? Cut him
there's
off?
No
the
way.
year at least.
I mean,
That'd be hilarious.
he probably do like the last song.
What if Drake just pulls up
Lil
and
Wayne.
like, just like knocks him out?
Lil Wayne and Drake come off of the rafters like the Hardy
That'd be
Boys.
cool. I'm telling
That
you,
would be cool.
that would
I'd be
probably be
alright
better
with that.
than like I said, the actual game. I feel like. Who do you all said, or I think that maybe Thomas has said, rap live isn't the best. What direction would you all go if you could, like, going forward? I don't know that we're ever going to get off this pop train that we're on, but would you go back like classic rock?
I think right now you got to go Creed.
Yeah, I mean Creed. Yeah, that's a
Everybody's
classic.
everybody
Yeah.
loves Creed so much right now. I read something the other day that they made more money this year than any other year in their career.
I saw something the
That's
other day
nut.
that
I
said
know.
One Last Breath like topped the rock charts or something like that. And, yeah, it hadn't
Makes
been
me so
out. I
happy.
mean, whatever, it was released 20 years ago or
Creed.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they're on tour. They've been on tour last year, and then they're going back on tour. And I think Three Doors Down and like Daughtry. I'm trying to get
Uh-huh.
Mariah to take me to go. This song
That would be
out.
cool, if Creed done it and you had kind of the same concept of like what Eminem and them did, but with rock artists, like sort of having like a few different rock artists come out. I don't know that you would. I don't know that you
Okay.
can like mix. What's his name? Stapp. Is that his name? Stapp. I don't know if you
Scott
can mix Stapp's voice with other people that easily, like you could in like a rap setting, the way they do things. But
I mean, I feel like I think it'd be better if they just like embrace the people who love it because it's like cheesy and like it's ironic. Like, just go all in. Like their what was that Thanksgiving
The
like
Dallas
halftime
one.
show that they did?
Yeah.
That was awesome, and he was like flying through the
Yeah.
air, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, I think they seem to have like I would go all the way. in
let
that
like
direction.
a WWE promoter, like get a hold of it.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty
Mhm.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I watched a podcast earlier, which it's an older one, but for whatever reason, I kind of just stumbled on it again. It was a Burt Cast with Shinedown. They would be a great option as well.
Mhm.
They're probably one of the bigger like modern rock acts right now. So I would be okay with them too. I like them a lot. I mean, they
Give me
they had,
Disturbed.
That'd be cool.
Disturbed would be good.
God, they're my favorite band from that
That'd
era.
be cool. I would like to have Disturbed in like a setting, kind of like how The Rock was like just randomly there on the field, to kick like to like verbally kick off the Super Bowl that one year. I would like Disturbed to be there and like
And
do some
Sour Year.
yeah, do some like music, like Down to Sickness or something, and get everybody pumped.
This will never happen. This will never happen.
Let's hear it.
But I've seen one band from the early 2000s was in talks of maybe touring again a little bit, and I mean, I would love for it to happen. But imagine a Super Bowl halftime with System of a Down. How crazy that would be.
They're way
Yeah, I
too
don't know
out there,
how-
man.
They are.
That's-
It'll never happen. But just
Yeah.
Sounds like,
imagine having them out there.
Sounds like terracotta pie to me.
Yeah,
Like toxicity, like amongst that many people. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it would turn into like a political statement, probably. Same for Rage Against the Machine. That would be great too. But that's gonna just be a political
Red
statement
Hot
of
Chili
some sort.
Peppers.
That's why we gotta stick with the creeds. You know,
Why
Yeah.
is it?
nothing
Nickelback.
gonna be
Hasn't been on
political.
there.
Let's go Nickelback.
They were on there with Bruno Mars.
Yeah, they made an
Bruno
appearance.
Mars
They
brought
were.
them
I
out
forgot about
for
that.
like a song or
Oh,
two.
wow.
Yeah.
They should.
Who?
They should have their own.
Yeah, they're a really good live band. Really high energy. You know, that's what you want. Foo Fighters would probably be good.
when you
Yeah.
get back to the classic rock stuff, even if it's not like real classic,
Yeah,
I
or-
mean, it can just be
They're getting
even
old.
just. Well, I mean, even just like the
You are.
creeds and stuff. I mean, that's still what, good 20 some years, 30, probably going 30 almost.
When you say classic rock, though, I'm like thinking like
Well, I mean,
classic rock, like
Not-
80s,
I mean,
70s.
2010 rock.
I mean, like even like 90s rock now would be viewed as classic to like the younger generation.
It would
no.
be. Yeah.
But, and I'm not like, go ahead.
Knocked Loose was on Jimmy Kimmel. You know, working their way up. He put Knocked Loose out there, really shocked the
Yep.
world.
I mean, I think that if we just get back to just music, period, and not having to worry about having a spectacle as a Super Bowl would be a big thing too. I think sometimes, well, I
That's
think
what
yeah.
makes money.
It's a
And
show,
maybe make
man.
the
It's not a
ticket prices
concert, it's a
somewhat
show.
That's
affordable,
true too. I think sometimes we all try to flex our American muscle and think that we could do this like crazy stuff. Like that one year, Lady Gaga had that. Was it her or Katy Perry? Like was on that. Yeah,
Katy.
the line or whatever
With the
it
sharks?
was. She's riding out there. The
Yeah,
shark,
the
yeah,
sharks.
whatever it was. They just wanted to make like some kind of like statement. If we get away from that, and maybe like Trump will do like some kind of executive order, and this be like, you know,
Only
we
Sign
are
on
bringing
them.
back the Super Bowl halftime show.
Only Creed for halftime shows.
Nickelback would be the the golden age of Super Bowl halftime
That
shows
would be
going
good.
forward.
While I'm in office, it's going to be Nickelback, Creed, Nickelback, and Creed.
They're not too old. That's the thing. Like they're not too old. They can still do it. I think they could. I think they could.
Do you remember?
Creed too,
I
but-
know we're getting off on a music tangent here, but I don't know if it was me and you, Thomas, or I know for a fact that Nick was with us. For a fact, we were at, I think it was at Disney World or Universal, but we were sitting in there and we got in a debate of who was better, Def Leppard or Nickelback.
I was there for that.
You remember
I was
that?
there for
Yeah.
that.
It was
I remember
I
that.
vaguely remember that.
it was
Yeah.
a very pretty good debate. I mean, just because
Who's better?
maybe it's just our generation, but like there's so many hit songs by Nickelback.
No, people sleep on Nickelback. They're
They
internet
had a
meme
lot
and
of
like
hits,
it's funny,
Yeah,
but like
I mean,
I'm just gonna say I like them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay
Well,
put
it's
on that
just
Liam.
like the stuff, like Chad Kroger saying that they were heavier than Metallica and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like, they really
Yeah.
asked for a lot of it. A lot of
well, I
the
think it reminds me a lot of like the gripe people have with Luke Combs. I mean, yeah, like a lot of his songs may sound the same, but
No,
but
they all
if
sound
they're
the same.
good, yeah, they're
They're
all
all
good.
good, though.
Like I mean, it's still
They are.
yeah.
I'm not saying they're not.
no,
I've
I'm
never
just
said
making
that.
the point that like Nickelback's like that. They might sound the same.
I know that was
but,
directed at me though.
Like even if they all sound the same, they're good. Like, I enjoy it. I don't know they've had anything recently. Like that's any bit good. But
I don't think they put anything out in a
yeah, I
while.
know they did the thing with Hardy, but that's the last thing I can remember.
Well,
Hardy would be
Yeah,
a
he
good
would be
one
a
because he's got the
riot.
rock thing, the country stuff. I know it's leaning more towards country, but Morgan Wallen would be a good one too. I mean, the dude has
Yeah, I mean,
if there's
I'd
ever
be
going to
okay
be a
with that, too.
country, if there's ever going to be a
he's
country,
got all
act,
the
it's Morgan.
Billboard top.
He's so
songs.
big.
He's the
Mhm.
biggest. He is the
Yeah.
Drake of country music.
as long
Mhm.
as we forget that N-word thing,
What N word?
Oh, they forgot about that now.
Yeah, he's got like 4 rap songs now, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate modern country, but it seems like I'm alone in that, and it's growing up. I feel like country is spreading. The country would probably be a good direction to go for the next halftime show.
I think
I don't think it would hit. Even with Morgan, I think it's just like such a big
Oh, yeah.
demographic, which I mean, you're never going to satisfy everybody.
Yeah.
Like Rusty's like, a lot of people aren't going to like Kendrick this year, and I remember the Eminem and 50 Cent the halftime show. My Facebook was nothing but old people mad as hell.
Yeah.
Do you think rap goes over better than country, though? I mean, we've had a lot of rap recently. Like,
I honestly think a lot of people now just turn it
do you
off.
think Kendrick? I think people would be more. I think people
No,
would be
that's
more
the thing.
interested in
People are
Morgan
going to turn it
Wallen
off.
than Kendrick.
I mean, I think some people don't turn off because they just want to see the spectacle of it. But I think most of your people that actually care about like the quality music, they just don't. And we're obviously in an area that is not huge on rap anyway.
Hey, we got some
Yeah.
local rappers.
Maybe outside of that, maybe it's just I'm thinking about my parents and stuff. Maybe I don't know, but I feel like that I would hear.
Oh, you're
if I'm
right,
at
Cameron.
Walmart. Most people
Yeah,
would say,
Tom.
"I ain't watching that." Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Bernstein. Yeah, Tom Bernstein really lives for the rap. That's what he wants to see.
I would love to see your dad and John back in a rap battle.
I just want to hear them talk to each other.
I want to hear a conversation in a room alone.
That's the slowest conversation ever.
Deep and slow.
It would be like did y'all watch Theo Vaughn and Cat Williams the other day? I watched some clips from it.
I
I
seen
didn't
some of
watch
the
it.
Seen some clips
from
of
it.
it.
Cat,
yeah.
like every time that he would talk, he would sit there fucking good like 10 seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
Cat Williams gets on my nerves, to be honest.
I feel like that would be like Tom and John, like, they just sit, they really ponder on what, like they're saying.
I think Cat Williams took that interview with Shannon Sharp, like
Mhm.
whenever he was on there, he kind of took that a little to the head a little bit. He came on there and just started saying a bunch of stuff, and then of course some stuff kind of may have happened with the P Diddy stuff, but like you can tell he's just an odd dude. Now, some of his stand up's good. I like his stand up. He's an odd guy.
I don't like to stand up at all. I don't know what it is. I think it's just his cadence and the way he delivers the jokes and stuff. I've never liked to
his
stand.
like him now doing podcasts is anything like his stand up.
No, it's
I
not.
think
No, really.
He talks really differently.
I think he's probably feeling pretty good. At least during the Theo Vaughn one, it seemed like he did. So that probably plays a part.
Theo
I was
Vaughn
in
is
Antonio
another.
Brown.
Yeah.
He was on
I couldn't
Theo
watch-
this week.
I
I
couldn't
want to
watch it. I tried.
Is it
I
not
couldn't
good?
watch it.
Oh,
Antonio
man.
Brown, he's just hard to watch, man.
I was so.
He's on
excited.
another planet. I know. I was excited too. It's just he can't. It's like he just
Broke
can't
my heart.
function in a conversation. He's just
I would
somewhere
love
else.
to
you know?
have.
Yeah, you know why, don't you? Your boy.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Your boy did that to him.
I would love to.
He
Yeah,
still
I showed,
has the best
Yeah, it
Twitter.
is.
I showed Miriam that. I
He's
showed Miriam that
lit.
the other day too.
What you think about that one, Thomas?
She thought that they were overly dramatic. She was like, I don't think it was that
Wow.
bad.
Right in her
I
right.
know.
Yeah.
She knows. Yeah, I've trained. Yeah, she's a really good Bengals fan now.
I think that I would love to have Antonio Brown, probably even Chad Ochocinco, Coach Brown that was on like First Chance or Last Chance U.
Oh,
he gets on
man.
my last
Oh,
nerves. I can't
I
stand
love
him.
he's funny.
No, he's
I'd
the
love to have all of
worst.
them together.
He's the worst.
Just looking at tweets all day and reacting to them.
He's not funny, in my opinion. Like, the stuff that AB says is so
Well, it is. Yeah.
wherever that's from.
That's hilarious.
But, like-
Everything that Antonio Brown tweets is
It's hilarious.
But Coach Brown, he's just like I don't know. I didn't like that
True.
season of
I
what's
think
the
it-
show called?
Yeah, I think it was
Last
Last Chance U.
last yeah. After
That was my
whenever he
favorite
came on there, I
season. Yeah, I
didn't.
think
No,
that
that
was
was my
funny.
least favorite one. Did not like him at all.
and instead of him, throw Kanye in there.
yeah.
God, mighty.
Yeah.
He
I
is
started to
all
wear,
over the place.
I started to wear Bianca's outfit tonight, but I decided we weren't ready for that yet.
This podcast would have went through the roof. We'd probably been banned too. So, would have got a real good shot of your.
So did y'all see the video of
tattoo.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
Like he's like looking at her.
he is so
and,
weird, man.
Like I don't know how. I mean, of course you can't read what they're saying, but from what the post that I seen, like it shows the video of him looking at her, and he's like, you tell he's like, take it off, take it
Yeah,
off.
he's just
And
drop
she's
it.
kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Mhm.
and she's kind of like,
See, I don't-
want to, and then
I
she
do
does.
think they probably said that, but I don't think that she was like, because she's been known for doing stuff like that.
No.
So
Yeah. I mean, she put the dress on for
She
a reason.
really
Like,
put it on.
yeah, it's like she knew she was
Yeah.
going to show it. They were probably just arguing about
Yeah.
when she should drop the coat.
I think that
yeah.
was it. Man, what a character. Kanye. Not long ago, he was like one of the big Trump guys.
Thought he was going to be the president in
Yeah.
2020.
He was
One
also a really like he stopped cussing, stopped making like explicit rap music. He was all about, God and making Christian rap. And then now he's kind of like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that
I
was
have
pretty
no
funny.
idea.
One of my favorite clips that every time I watch it, I laugh is when it's like an interview and he's like, I'm not going to say what kind of doctor. It was a Jewish doctor. I laugh at that every single
I
time.
tell you what's funny is that interview clip that you see in the group of Ocho Cinco and Stephen A. Smith. That was
Turbo's
that
little
was
pee-pee.
hilarious. Stephen A. said, "Just so you know, we are live right now." I know. It almost beats. It doesn't. 'Cause I think this is funny. The time that Sharp and Ocho Cinco got on air after that clip came out or leaked out of Sharp. No, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Was that the clip of Chad and James Harrison the other day? Was that
Is
one-
that real?
Was that in the group? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I
It
don't know
was
if
in
it was
the
in a
group, I think. I didn't get to. I kind of saw like maybe it was the subtitles or something. I think I was at the school. I didn't get to watch it, but
I was going to ask if that was real.
Well,
'cause does Ocho Cinco have a death
caption-
wish or something?
The
I
caption
think
made
they
it
were
seem
playing
like
on
they
fire.
like. Well, the caption
No.
made it seem like they were
No.
going to
well,
throw
they
hands
both
there.
have been in fights, right? Like both have done that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
boxed.
I mean, James Harrison is just the scariest human being.
But,
One punch.
but wouldn't you
Oh
love
my
to have
gosh.
like some like audio if you could somehow get it? Like maybe one of them like, would wear a shirt or something, and just to hear all the crap that Chad probably talks to James during that. Because you'd have to, like you'd have to try to get in get in his head.
I don't think it would last very long. I don't think
It's
they're
not.
gonna-
Yeah, there's not
I
going to be
mean,
a lot said.
It's not
It
going to
might
be a
not
great
be.
ROI on that one.
It's not like James Harrison is like just strong and scary. It's like he's just a
Yeah.
freak of nature, like crazy athlete in
Mhm.
every
But wasn't it
sense
that
of the word.
He would have to have more cardio. I mean, if they fight for real, like if it goes past 3 minutes, I would probably give it to Chad Johnson.
I don't think
but
it's going
no
to
chance.
happen.
that's going to be.
And I
I
You know,
I
I
think
don't
James
know that-
Harrison's in shape.
past,
James
I don't know
Harrison's
that
the
He
James
is
has
one of the
as bad of cardio
greatest
as
defenders
what
ever.
you're like. I don't know that his cardio is that much worse than
Right.
Chad's at this point.
3 minutes.
I
With,
think it's probably
I don't know
better.
how many gloves? How many ounces they have in gloves?
Stop
but
it.
If
Stop
they have
it.
if they have
No.
16-ounce gloves on for 3 minutes, that's insane. I mean,
Mute him.
you're
Can
going
we
to get
mute
tired.
him?
All right, you're
Yeah,
going to
listen.
get tired. Now,
I'm tired of listening to this. Is what I'm tired of.
within that 3 minutes, if James Harrison,
Rusty.
it's over.
No chance. You're
I
acting
think-
like James
Within
Harrison
that
didn't
3
play in the
minutes.
NFL.
I'm saying James Harrison, who takes care of his body
Like, look at
better
him.
than anybody
The rest of them fall
ever.
down the bleachers here.
And Chad Johnson started.
Boxing is different.
Chad
Come
Johnson
on.
started this thing, Ocho versus Science, where he's saying that McDonald's is the key to being a good athlete. It's
Well,
like,
see, yeah, I mean, okay,
like James
James
Harrison is in
Harrison.
better shape. I think just because he's thinner doesn't mean that he's in
Yeah.
better shape. I don't
Remember
know.
that time when he was talking trash to Ray
James
Lewis?
Harrison hasn't drove by a McDonald's in 15 years.
You remember that clip, Thomas, like when he was talking trash to Ray Lewis? That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite Ocho Cinco clips.
Man,
There's a
that-
lot of good ones.
That era of receivers was the best. Like,
Yeah.
we'll never see a better, even right now. Like,
Yeah,
right now, maybe they're better, but the
Oh, yeah.
trash talk and the celebrations, my God,
Yes.
what a
I
time to be
showed
alive
Miriam-
that
Yeah.
was.
yeah. I showed Miriam that the other day. I showed her.
Naturally.
Well, it started with the Chad Johnson clips, all of his like antics and him trying to blindside Ray and getting destroyed and stuff like that. And then I showed her a highlight of Golden Tate. Do you guys remember watching
Yeah.
Golden Tate?
See,
Mhm.
Seattle, right?
He was the
Electric.
definition of a menace. It was
Electric.
just every single time he caught the ball, he was looking to embarrass everybody around him. Like he was like doing flips into the end zone, like running backwards, like giving peace signs. He was awesome. You should go and watch
Golden
some
Tate.
of his stuff.
Uh,
I think he played
yeah, I
the
think
other day.
I think he did.
he did.
You talking about Chad Ocho Cinco?
He was in that team with Brady
With
Quinn.
he played with my boy Jimmy,
Yeah.
I believe.
I
Was it
think
Jimmy
it
or
was.
Brady?
I think
Brady
it was
Quinn.
Jimmy.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I think it was
I
later
think it was
than
Jimmy.
Brady.
Yeah, the Jimmy Crow.
You talking about Chad Johnson? That 1 year, he had like a long list of celebrations he was planning to do, and I remember watching the game when
Yeah.
he scored the touchdown and put the Hall of Fame jacket on, and then after that, it just went downhill.
That was the end. Yeah, I know. When I was showing Miriam that video, I told her I was like, I really hate this one, and she was like, "Oh, I like it." I was like, "No, I hate it because this was the end of his career, pretty much. Like we came into this season like I have a list for every single game what I'm gonna do, and then he pulls that out. Nobody likes it, and then it's like he gets like one more touchdown that year. It's like the worst year he had, and then
That was probably
Yeah, it was-
his
it was
last
terrible.
big notable thing, except for the time that he went against Darrell Revis. And I think that's what he had said. He's going to change his name back or something like that. If Darrell Revis had, if he shut him down, and he did, I think, if I remember right. But I don't guess he ever changed his name back.
yeah,
Did y'all see the clip that I put? And I know me, Thomas, and Logan, and John last time talked about it. But I sent the clip of the crib thing that was in NFL 2K5 in the group. Did y'all see that? They give you some
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty neat. I was hoping they
Never
Yeah,
played
that
that game.
believe that.
That's crazy to me. Like, of all the dumb stuff that you've done, that could be at the top of
It,
the
it was
list.
the best game.
I mean, that probably.
If you can at some point go and look up, because I know that clip I sent, it was cool. Look it up with a person that has gosh mate, you all right? It's like that jacket just like stuck in the
Getting
sucking the
hot,
life
dude.
out of you. But you need to look it up.
it's hot in Georgia.
It is hot in Georgia. You need to look it up though, where whoever it is has all the stuff, like all the stuff and like the trophies and everything. It's really cool. Anyway,
Well, people, there's a couple guys on YouTube that I follow. They think that game is better than the newer game, the newer Madden. They say that is plays
it
better
has.
than it.
It's
than
weird the
old.
way it plays. Like you don't hold the trigger to go fast. You have to tap A, which is like a weird concept. And the way the tackling is, and for the time that it came out I think it was really good on graphics and stuff. But all that to the side, the presentation, like the extra stuff, is what was cool. You could at the end of every week hit a button, and it would show you Sports Center. It would start off just like Sports Center, have like the injuries and stuff. It would go to each game and show highlights from each game, which is just like wild.
Well, I had ESPN, like the ESPN stuff, the packaging, the broadcasting was on it.
Yeah,
Chris Berman was in it, I think. I mean, I've never played it. I've just watched videos, so I know a lot about it, but for someone who'd never played, I couldn't tell you what it plays like. But you also had a lot of like NFL games back then. Like you had NFL Blitz, you had NFL Game Day, NFL or Madden. They had Madden 05, which is what I got for Christmas that year. Was what I wanted was the new Madden with Ray Lewis on the cover. So I didn't know anything about.
I don't even
2K
remember playing that year's
making a football
Madden,
game.
but I guess because
Good.
2K was,
Was I was thinking 05 was Brett Favre on Madden. Maybe that was 06.
It was 09.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't remember that.
But yeah, I feel like the games they started going for like what's impressive, more like graphics and stuff. Like look at our technology and less about like cool gameplay. Because it's really cool. I remember one of those like old Madden games when you like would take like a IQ test in your
Oh, yeah,
career,
I remember that.
Yeah.
like to get scored, like to help with your draft position and stuff, and
Yeah, the
it had
PS2 days were
the cribs.
good.
Yeah,
I like on
After that,
on
I
the
don't know what happened.
2K. Well, one main thing that happened is that EA got the rights to all of it, so there's no more competition.
did,
But there's a game mode in 2K as well that you were in the helmet. Like that was pretty cool. Like you'd look around, and I mean that would be cool to bring back with VR the way VR is now. That would be pretty neat. I know they have.
They got it with the Pro
I know
Era
they have a game
VR
for it, but
game.
like having it like I don't know. I just like that game was so good. It's like if you just put that game on VR now, I would play it. And I was sitting here thinking, I think that if I remember right, you could even create a team. And
You could create a team of
yeah,
Madden.
but you're stuck. You're limited to just like the select like things, like the 4 or 5 options they give
Well,
you.
the Madden on PS2 was much more like it. Like the creative options were a lot better. It's kind of like college football. I don't know if you ever created a
Oh,
team
yeah.
on college football back then, but even it was like all kinds of like ways you could make your team, and like I don't know how many times I made Twin Valley, Richlands, Blue Mountain State.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you could do all kinds of crazy stuff on the PS2. Then they changed it on PS3, and then they made the team builder, but they didn't bring that over
That
to
team
Madden.
builder sucks.
But now you can with Madden. Now you can make the
Yeah,
team builder
team
on
builder
Madden.
sucks. But
Did any of you guys ever play college basketball 2K8?
is that the one with Reddick
yeah.
on it?
Greg
Oh,
Oden.
Greg Oden.
Greg
Oh,
Oden on the
yeah.
cover?
Greg Oden, yep.
I put
Yeah.
many, many, many hours
That
into
is
that game. I love the career mode. When you start as a coach, like you get to choose like one of the really low level colleges, and then you can play the games and you recruit players. Like it has like a whole list of like 5 through 1-star recruits, and you can do like campus visits and stuff like that, and play the games, and then you get like job offers from Carolina and Duke eventually. I loved that game. I
The
thought it was so
rumor
cool.
is that I think 2K is interested in doing that again. Now that college,
EA's with
now
them.
that college footballs came out and stuff.
Well, MLB The Show, I just seen on Instagram the other day, they're coming out with their new game, and they're bringing college baseball back into the mix and high school. So I think you're going to see a college basketball game in the next couple of years. Hopefully 2K makes it. I think EA, which the last college basketball game that was ever made was NCAA Basketball 10. It had Blake Griffin on the cover. I remember that was my Christmas present in 09. My grandmother,
Yeah, I had
we
that.
were at Walmart when I was like, I want this game so bad. And she got it for me, and that was so fun. It had the CBS package. It had ESPN attached. So, like, every game, like, you might play on CBS this one game, and then you might play on ESPN this game. and they had like 2 or 3 different commentator options where you could like, different teams were doing it. It was so fun. So, but I think 2K basketball wise is the developers to make that
Oh
game.
yeah, 2K's
So I think that's why I hope
they're really good.
I think they're superior in both. I mean, I know it's been a long, long time since they had the NFL, but that was my favorite football. Well, I'll say favorite normal, like actual football game. NFL Street's still the king, I think.
Oh,
NFL
yeah.
Blitz was pretty fun.
Great
too.
too.
I think I would have more fun
Mhm.
playing NFL Blitz
man.
now, compared to probably
For
what I
sure.
did then. I didn't understand as much. But
For sure. You
Yeah.
definitely respect it more.
yeah, I think it was good. I don't know. I think going forward, eventually, I don't know if y'all have put on a VR headset yet, but eventually, I think they're going to get into some territory there and doing stuff. It's pretty amazing what you can do now. I was telling Rusty, he swung by the house here, I guess, a few weeks ago, and this ain't like playing a video game, but you can like watch basketball games on the VR, and it's cool because you'll go into this app, and you're in a locker room, and you can look around, walk to wherever go.
Sounds
Well,
pretty gay,
Let me
actually.
tell you, you don't even like click a button.
You get to see guys
I
changing.
didn't mean
Or
it like
canceled.
that.
All kinds of black dicks around you.
It took one episode. We're
I
canceled.
didn't mean that. But
I thought it would be John.
you turn around and you go through to the arena, and it's like it doesn't like how in a video game you click on a button and it will have a loading screen. It's no loading screen. You just walk right into the arena, and the game's going on, and you go like you can find your place to sit, and you can sit there and watch the game like you was really there. Yeah, it was pretty
That's
neat.
pretty cool.
I thought, but you could really get lost in that world.
The
Not
locker
in the
room.
locker room. I don't want to get lost in there.
You give this VR thing 5-10 more years, man. It's crazy what
Yeah.
they're gonna come up with.
That's something I have
Until you
zero
put it
interest
on,
in.
until you try it. I know.
no,
I'm telling you. What, I'm
promise you.
telling you. I will. I'll try to bring it.
People just look. Nobody can look cool
Yeah, I
wearing
mean,
a
it's not about
VR
that.
set either. Like you look
It's
so
about
ridiculous.
cool. It's about
Yeah.
I'm
putting
just
on
saying.
It's
and
always
putting
about
whenever
looking
you're in
cool.
No.
What do you mean?
Wait,
It ain't.
If you're in a
It
room
ain't
by
about looking
yourself
cool.
and you're trying to look cool,
Yeah.
there's a problem.
Then you're in the basketball locker room, probably Rusty.
Look at it.
Listen.
That's where you're at for
In a
sure.
room by yourself? Nah. I'm just
The
in
only
there having
VR
fun.
I've ever done. The only VR I've ever done was Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Wasn't crazy about it.
That's fun.
It's all right.
I literally used to get yelled at for standing too close to the TV watching it.
Yeah.
You're telling me you want me to put a little TV right in front of my face? My dad will kill
Well, I'm
me.
telling you,
You don't do it
Yeah.
in front of your dad.
You're right.
I'd love to see your dad put one on.
It's like
Yeah,
right,
right.
up there with like
He
leaving
would have
the
fun.
lie down in the back of the car.
Yeah, that
Too close to the
straight to jail.
TV.
Straight to jail.
Yeah, I'm telling you though, it's crazy. So when you put it on, it blows your mind.
Well, they've got the things now where you put the vest on, and if you're doing like a shooting game, and if you get shot, like you feel penetration
What?
in the vest.
What a choice of
That's
words.
crazy.
What a choice of words.
Oh God! Come on.
VR sounds really good. Get to
Talk
go in
about
men's
looking
locker
at
rooms and feel the
changing and
penetration.
now-
What are we doing here?
Get out
You
of
yeah,
knew
well,
what
all
you were
words
saying.
you
You
can
knew
live
what you were
with.
saying.
What? Well,
Can you say you can feel the gunshot? You just got hit.
The impact.
Literally anything with
okay.
that.
Well, when a bullet hits you, there's penetration.
I've never
right?
been hit.
That's J-Mar.
Brian
He got
guess
shot
so.
once.
That isn't on here right now.
Well,
It's true.
But it is. It's a cool thing, honestly. Whenever you get on there
Yeah.
and experience it, and it is crazy how like realistic it seems. You think it's stupid like, when you hear about it. You're like, no, you know it's a game, and you do know it's a game. But like you play like a zombie game like Resident Evil, and before you know it, you're like, oh gosh, like it just startles you. It's just wild. Which I mean, I get more of an interest out of like being there at the games, like at like a football game or something, and watching it through a different lens. I think that's cool.
We kind of touched on NBA earlier
Hmm?
to change the
Oh,
subject
man,
if you're done with
it's
this.
free flow. Anything you want to say?
Yeah. We kind of talked about the NBA earlier and how it's not a very good product. And I think one thing that hurts them is, like you talking about, like being like at the games, is going to an NBA game isn't like that much better either than watching it on TV. Honestly, NFL, it's really fun. NFL is a fun environment, but like as far as your viewership, like looking at the field, like
Well,
I don't know, it's not great. I don't know. It's interesting. Live sports, I feel like with the ticket prices the way they are now, it's I don't know. I feel like it's getting harder to justify like these sporting events live. You know, baseball is honestly as boring as baseball is on TV. Baseball going to a baseball game is awesome. It's one of the better live experiences.
Before I get on to this, it's so hilarious just watching him ghost in and out of Sanford Stadium over there.
I know. He's
Yeah.
walking like he's a giant on the field.
But anyway, no, I completely agree with you. And I think NBA takes it even another step on the negative side because your star players ain't always there, and so that's a
Right.
big
Talking about
thing.
Luka, yeah.
You know, in football, the one thing I'll say about the NFL game I went to with you is you do get the atmosphere, and I know in a lot of college games I've been
Right.
to, even in basketball, the experience is something that you can't have at home. Like I said, with NBA though, you run into that thing. I've never been to an NBA game, but you just run into that issue of, you're paying this money to see this team, and presumably you're paying that money to watch probably a star player, right? And so
Yeah.
with the way that they sit out, I just think it's hard to make that commitment to go and watch them. And even
Yeah.
furthermore, you don't know if they're going to be on another team in the offseason. The way they hop back and forth, to me,
Or get traded.
or get traded.
You could just wake up one morning and think Thomas is losing his
Look-
mind, and then you realize that Shams didn't get hacked, and you just got Luka Doncic on your team now.
Mm-hmm.
I had to suck
Yeah,
for you,
it's
didn't
like-
it, Thomas?
And it's like you're going to a game, like the star players may not play. Like the last NBA game I went to was like 2008, and I went and watched the Celtics, and Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen didn't play. I was like,
I mean,
so,
you got to
and
see.
also you're watching games like it's mostly free throws and TV timeouts. You know,
You got to see
at
Big
least-
Baby though. That was pretty cool, probably.
yep. Rondo, I got Rondo's autograph. That was pretty cool.
Laker legend.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like somehow baseball ended up being. I feel like they do live the best somehow.
Going to
Yeah,
a
I was
baseball
getting
game
ready
is
to
the
say,
best.
I don't even.
I know it's the most
I've
fun.
only been to
I don't
one,
even
though.
watch baseball that much. I went one time with Christian over at Cincinnati, and I've always said I think that if I had the money and I lived close enough to a baseball stadium, I'd probably be a baseball fan. I don't know that I would say more than a football fan if I was in the city,
Oh, you
but,
wouldn't like
but
to
I
watch
would
football.
be a very frequent visitor of the stadium of
Mhm.
the ballpark because it is. I mean, it's like America, which is odd because there's so many different nationalities represented in baseball, but it just feels
Especially
Not racist. It's just an
it
observation.
just feels American when you go.
especially going to places. Yeah, especially going to places like Fenway Park. That's so historic too.
Dude, that was. I'm a Yankees fan. The only time I've been to, I went to two. We watched Boston and New York in Boston. That was crazy. Like, it was so freaking cool.
Fenway Park is awesome. I imagine Wrigley Field's the same.
I'm curious. I don't have. I mean, you probably know, Thomas. Like just how old some of those baseball stadiums are. I know the Yankee Stadium isn't like the new one. It's obviously newer.
Yeah.
Like Fenway and Wrigley Field. I mean, it has to be like in the early 1900s. You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah, Fenway Park was 19...
Got it. Yeah. Got
I
it.
look at this guy.
1912.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's great.
1912.
I mean,
Was
It's
one
really
third.
crazy too when you think about like the way that major teams are going with you're renovating stadiums and building new stadiums. You look at the NFL. I think I saw a thing the other day that besides Soldier Field, I think there's another one that might be the Bills Stadium. It's like 1970 or something, or it might be another stadium. But the rest of them are, pretty recent. I think Soldier Field's like 1920 or something. It's like the only one that is really old, and the rest of them, like I think it's like 70s and up, and I think even that one is getting renovated. So you don't have like the history as far as like the stadiums and stuff go, like you do probably in baseball. I don't know a lot of your college stadiums. I'm sure they probably, to a degree,
If
are.
it's not going to happen, just because I think where's the expansion baseball teams going, Thomas? I think they're putting 2 in. One of them's in like Nashville. Is that right?
I'm not sure actually.
So I think Nashville getting one, and with Nashville,
Probably Vegas.
it's somewhere on the West Coast. So you've got, if Nashville gets the team, and Vegas gets a team, that's going to, you've already got your 2. With having one in Nashville and having one in Atlanta, just like you're not going to put one in Charlotte, but like Charlotte had a bid for a MLB team. I was so looking forward to like that happening until Nashville's got accepted
Would you have switched?
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean you have to.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, have to.
Okay,
Yeah,
almost
dude.
okay.
You're going to.
You don't have to.
I
but
mean, a lot of
like,
deep-rooted Yankees and Red Sox fans, I think, would never.
I could.
So like, and I can't put.
Okay, 10 years ago, no, I wouldn't have. Like, now that I'm not really like, I just mostly just like the Yankees just to piss Thomas off. Like, I'd probably
Yeah,
switch.
I'm kind of like, I never really got into baseball, but when I would watch it with my grandparents when I was really young, I would always go with the Yankees because they always liked the Red Sox. So I would always just say, Yankees. And at that time, and I guess the gap probably hasn't closed that much. I think the Yankees had like, 27, 28 like titles, and they were just way far ahead. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna
They'll never be caught.
I'm just gonna choose the Yankees. But I can't say that my fanhood obviously isn't. It's not that deep because I don't watch it that much. But
Right.
Yeah,
It's not easy to watch a baseball game. It's
hard to
really
watch on
good on
TV.
like a Sunday afternoon, like when you want to take a nap. Innings like 3 through 7.
That's the golf time slot, though, Sunday
Sunday
afternoon.
night baseball.
Yeah.
If there's nothing on, you can watch it. That's about
it
it.
is.
You trying to eat that camera, Rusty? Scoot back a little bit, dog.
Well, no,
It was funny. What?
I'm kind of like Cameron on that, about baseball though, because I kind of like I've always pulled for the Red Sox, but I've like never really watched it.
Cared.
Never really cared. I mean, I like some of the players, and I would watch some games. But we went this past year to watch the Reds, and Ellie De La Cruz is so good.
Hey, they're coming to, really playing that next year?
Bristol. Yeah.
Bristol?
I guess the
Yes, they
Braves.
are.
I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
Braves.
we
Reds
gonna go to
Braves.
that.
Oh, that's pretty
We
cool.
gonna go to that.
That'd be a pretty cool event. But I just don't know that I could handle all the. I don't know. I'm just not like a big baseball fan. I feel like it's just gonna be flooded with.
I'm telling you,
I've been to one
You
game.
got
I
to
do
go.
love it. I just don't know that I would like it in Bristol. I guess is my point.
Why not?
Is it at,
What's the
is it-
difference?
it's the same
Well, I
game,
mean, It
dog.
is different. Yeah,
is
it's
it
at the Speedway. Yeah.
What are they?
Well,
Mhm.
Yeah,
the football field on the
pretty
Speedway
cool.
was a joke because it's so small. The baseball field's going to be even smaller. So
It's still just
I mean,
something you can say you did.
that's all it is, just like the football game. It's just not something I feel like. I don't think it's going to be worth the headache of having to go there and deal with all the craziness I think it's going to be.
I mean, it depends on how much the tickets are. I mean,
What's
if
it
you're
gonna
going
be?
to
What do you
pay
mean craziness?
I don't
the
know
amount that you're going to pay
I
for
just
the
don't think. I don't think.
It's not gonna be crazier than any random NASCAR race you go to there.
Well, a lot of people don't do the NASCAR races anymore.
There's no maybe
now.
to that.
It's not really been. Well, I mean, the last time I went, I mean, it wasn't that packed out.
I don't
When's the
remember
last time
anything
you
about
Probably
did?
the last
you
time I
during the
went.
Wow,
the
Rusty.
All-Star race, and I went that nighttime race.
I got lost.
You get lost a lot
I
There,
did.
I do.
I did.
there.
I was
Danville.
like, I was jumping. We literally parked.
No, I'm
And-
talking about at Bristol.
I know
lost
that's
at
what I'm
Danville,
saying.
too.
I'm just naming off places you got lost at.
He said, "My house."
You got a book or
Walmart?
something?
I wish I did.
That night race that we went to there, I don't remember when it was now, but we parked at whose house did we park at?
All that one that I went,
I guess, yeah.
it was somebody's
yeah,
house
you're right.
that
We parked at somebody's
Katie
house,
knew.
like really close to the track. And
Yes, Katie Nell.
we walked down the street, we walked left, we walked straight, and then we're at the track. Whenever we left, somehow everybody left me. I ended up walking like up mountains, and I jumped a fence at one point, and I went down a big hill. And I finally was like, why don't I just pull my phone out and see where I'm going?
What? I
think-
remember.
I got lost.
Well, I was gonna say I remember during the All-Star race. I was trying to find your truck, and I felt like we walked 400 or 500 yards, and like I thought we were in the same spot. We just couldn't ever find your truck. We could never get the depressing thing was we couldn't ever get close enough for him to hit the button. Like we were never that close for him to just hit the button. And you remember that? Yeah,
That was awful.
we were out there.
That was
for,
awful.
Felt like forever.
We were in the I don't know what campground it is, but it's the one like in front of the
Yeah,
track. Yeah.
yeah, it was.
What?
Go ahead.
I feel like baseball, NASCAR, and hockey. I feel like they
Hockey's-
figured out live.
Me and Rusty are gonna be hockey like bros.
You and Rusty being bros
I'm waiting
and
on
anything
you to go
is
with me.
something to hear.
That's the only thing that we're ever gonna agree on. We're both gonna be Canes fans.
You see, I don't know if it's a new sport, but I saw Joe Rogan talking about it the other day. It was lacrosse, but they started doing the whole fight and stuff that like hockey does. And I don't know that. I don't think that's a
I thought you were-
lacrosse thing. I don't ever remember that. I mean, I know people got hit
Yeah.
and stuff, but not like full on letting them fight. But this particular thing, I guess, sport or whatever, they were like fighting. Like the refs were letting them, just like they do in hockey. So I used to like watching lacrosse. It would come on TV. I'd get home or something to be on. It was fascinating. I don't keep up with it. I haven't watched it now in years, but at that point in my life, it was pretty interesting.
You wanna know what I know about lacrosse? UNC's women's lacrosse team is very good.
Yeah.
Erin Matson, is that her name, Thomas?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Erin Matson. I think she won 3 natties in 4 years, and then they gave her the coaching job the next year.
Yeah, to hear.
After she
Soccer may be
graduated.
another sport that has live figured out. I've never been to a soccer match, but they seem electric.
You know what I think about soccer and David Tepper? Not much.
That's probably more people at those soccer games than the football games last year.
Well, the opposing team fans always
Well.
packed us out.
Yeah.
The seats wasn't empty. It's when you blue in them.
Oh, I could go watch my favorite team for like
Yeah.
$10. Yeah.
The only thing I remember about, I think UVA had to go lacrosse team, but I know that when we were younger, there was like this big ordeal with Duke's lacrosse team. That was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, she came out and
she came out and said that none of that happened.
she lied.
That's wild, considering how big it was.
Yeah, that sucks. Those kids' lives are ruined.
Yep.
And that's been a long time ago since when all
yeah.
that happened.
They're from
They should
Duke,
just
so I
have
mean, they
them
were
out.
already ruined anyways.
Right.
Well, I mean-
They're a bunch of rich kids.
Well, we don't.
I'm sure they still
But
got a
Duke's good
job
at
with their.
lacrosse too, though. Like they've
I'm sure
always
they
had
got a
decent
job with their
good
daddy's
team.
for.
They did, or they
They're
ended up like Kyle
fine.
Singler.
Oh God!
Oh, I just bring the mood down. I didn't feel bad
Just
for
saying.
him.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, you don't know what's
Jesus
Has he
happening.
posted
Christ,
anything
Cameron.
else since then? Like, is there? Like, I'm not seeing anything else he's posted. I know that got viral, but man, I
That's
felt
his
bad for
entire.
him.
He has like 15 videos or more on his feed of just that. Like, same thing, like him, camera in the same place, taking a step back and saying crazy shit.
He's like Britney Spears, man. Like
Yeah,
Britney
definitely my
Spears has
favorite.
Lost her
Definitely my
fucking
favorite. Definitely my favorite Duke alum, other than Jason Tatum.
Saw a thing today, and I about sent it in the group. But I thought it was kind of a dumb post. But it was going over the like 5 or 6 areas where Jason Tatum had like word for word copied like famous sayings.
He's
Yeah, I think
very
like one of them
strange.
was the KG one.
It's like, bro, get your own thing.
Yeah, one of them was Kobe, of course. One of them was something that
I
Kanye
mean-
said. Yeah.
So what happens is you dedicate your life to the game. You watch all these clips.
You don't
see
have time
all,
to be original.
You see all of your idols reacting to these moments, and then when you finally achieve those moments, all that's going through your head is everything you've watched your whole career of all of your idols and how they handled the moment. You know, it's easy for that to be channeled, I think.
Okay, so I have a very serious question for you. You saw us like just randomly get Luka in the middle of the night. What are you going to do when you get that notification, Thomas, that Tatum is a Laker? What are you going to do? Because, I mean, you can't say it won't happen.
I would have to assume that we're getting Luka. We're not as
You're not
stupid
getting
as the
Luka.
Mavericks.
No, you're not getting Luka.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it then. Tatum, I think he's going to spend his entire career in Boston.
I don't know. It'd be Kobe guy.
Who do you think?
Yeah, he may go to you guys after he's won like 10 with us and he's ready to retire.
I wanted to bring this up.
Ian.
An inaugural episode of Move the Goalpost. I want to double down on our bet from last year. Yeah, I paid
I'm
up.
expecting us
I
to
did
win
my
like
part.
5 of the next 8.
Okay. I'm going to say we tied up before y'all get another one.
Oh, wow. That's insane. I'll take that.
Okay.
I think it'll end in, let's see, what month is it? 5 months from now?
Yeah, very quick bet.
Same as last time.
Who do you think weighed more, Luka or Kelvin Benjamin in the height of their
I mean, it depends who you ask. Swear to God. You cannot look at that man and tell me that's 270. Nico Harris needs to shut up.
I mean,
Yeah.
He needs to go find a rock and crawl under it as far as he can get under it. Because
Yeah, we
he
should
has
all-
done nothing other than make himself look dumber than what he did when he traded Luka, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
They're saying
we
Luka
need
is
to
270
yeah,
go,
they say
now?
it's 270.
Yes.
we need to all
No
go around
way.
and give our takes on that
Like
trade,
Eddie
I
Lacy.
think.
Let's just go. Let's do deadline and wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is mostly the big move. I mean, I know that Butler had a crazy ordeal where he went to Golden State, and then the plan was, I guess, to ship him off to Phoenix to get KD back, and KD nixed the trade. So Jimmy ended up at Washington, or not Washington, at the Warriors. So it's kind of like a weird. I mean, like I said, I've not kept up with it as much as what you all have, but I don't know that the way I remember Jimmy's style of play, I don't feel like it goes well with the way the Warriors played. I know they don't got Clay now.
Well, I mean, Jimmy's but I think Jimmy can fit it anywhere. I mean, he's a slasher and more of like an attacker, but he can't hit. I mean, he can hit an open three, and he's going to have those playing Steph. It's inevitable. I won't say him for Wiggins is a push, just because of what they do and who they are and all that. But
I do
Yeah.
think that.
it's not.
Do you think he would have been better at Phoenix?
I think Phoenix is a mess, apparently, from everything that's came out of Phoenix. Nobody's talking. Nobody says a word during shoot around now. Like Bradley Beal has apparently like tore them apart from the inside out.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
one thing about it.
They went from final. They were like in the finals. Got Bradley Beal, who was like the
Yeah.
best player in the league that one year,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're just
Yeah.
hanging out.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Where's
Jimmy Butler-
at in his career? Like, where's Jimmy at in his career? Because he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Is he
Well, the
on
great
the
thing about
downside, or
Jimmy
is
is
he
if you
still,
don't-
He's
like,
in the
plateau?
day. Yeah, he's going down. I mean, he's still a good player, and
Boy,
I
you
know,
say
it'll be
top.
interesting. It'll be interesting. He's used to getting to the playoffs and then putting the team on his back and
Mhm.
just dominating the ball and willing his way like through the playoffs, which is not going to be the case in Golden State. But like you said, he's a slasher and he plays good defense. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it probably helps the Warriors, but I'm still like not worried about the Warriors.
Oh, they don't
Yeah.
scare me at
Do
all.
you think?
What's the what are they?
Well, I was just
Go
going to
ahead,
say, I know that. I mean, obviously, it was a stupid, ordeal with Dallas and what they could have got versus what they did get. But at the same time, I mean, Kyrie having the pick and roll game with AD and still having the bigs they got. Do you think they're still going to be, a top team? I feel like they are.
Yes. If AD gets healthy after he got hurt in the first game
Yeah,
he played with Dallas,
which is- I'm
just
sure
really
that,
sucks. I hate that so
The
much.
manager there was.
I mean, that's the
groaning or whatever,
whole-
freaking out.
That's one of the many reasons, like, when it first happened, I was like, why it was so stupid is because AD has had, it's not like you're getting like a young 30-year-old, it's like this is a guy who's 30 now and he's really struggled with injuries his whole career. And then it just goes to show his first game, he gets injured. Hopefully he's fine. But I mean, it looks like if he's healthy, yeah, it's not going to be a bad trade for the next year or 2 years because in 3 quarters today, he had like 26, 16, 7, and 3.
He's so good.
Yeah,
I
it was
have-
a
I mean-
beautiful game, yeah.
He is
And that was in 3 quarters, if that.
he, hands down, like, it's hard. I was thinking about this like a couple days ago. You've got like your favorite play, like when you're a Lakers fan, you've got your favorite players that are stars, and you've got your favorite players that are like just everybody else. Of a star player, he's probably top 3 for me, maybe.
You think
Well-
top 3 in the whole league?
Love AD. Have so
Oh,
no
the
for
Lakers.
the Lakers, as a Lakers fan. Like, I have so much. What he did whenever we traded for him, we literally flipped Ball, Ingram, and Hart. Got a championship out of it. Then we traded the championship for Luka. That's nuts.
Yes.
But like, AD, so much love for him. He gets a bad rep. He plays 60 games a year, but playing 60 out of 82 is a pretty big deal, honestly.
So Tripoli managed
Like,
Joel Embiid plays.
Most people don't play 60 out of 82.
Yeah, better than Embiid.
Everybody wants to say you street clothes AD and all that, make all the jokes about him, but like, especially Clippers, when they got freaking Kawhi
Ben
Leonard and
Simmons
Paul
today.
George playing like 20 games a year.
Yep.
The Clippers did. That's wonderful. I love to hear that. But no, AD's a monster. He's the best defensive player in the league. Has been for like 4 or 5 years now. Rudy Gobert sucks.
He's the best defensive big in the league.
Best defensive big in the league. That's fair. But
you
no,
know, I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
say-
miss him.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion, probably. I'm going to ride the Ben Simmons train like I did
Oh
Sam
my
Darnold
God.
and say that, I said that Sam Darnold still
did.
had talent and that he was a good quarterback.
with you.
And
I was with you on
right
that.
about that one. Ben Simmons is the next one that I'm guessing on. I
Well,
still
no
think
chance.
Ben Simmons is
Who's the
a
No
coach
good player.
for? Because the argument with Sam Darnold,
It's Ty Lue.
well, I don't remember much about Ty Lue as far as being a.
He's the one that AI
I
stepped
know
over.
who he
He got
is.
stepped
I'm
over,
just
yeah.
saying, like, him as a
That's all you
coach, I
need
don't
to know.
remember anything of note. Like, I don't look at him like I do Rick Carlisle or Greg Popovich or somebody like that.
He's-
But when you look at Sam Darnold going to the Minnesota, O'Connell is he's a great offensive coach. That's why I thought I agreed with you. I think that was perfect
Well-
match because all you need to do is put a strong arm with like a great offensive coach like that.
I will say Ty Lue. I mean, I did not expect the Clippers to be as good as they are this year. So he's doing something right over there.
Wasn't he the coach for the Cavs the year that he pretended to be the coach? LeBron was really the coach. Okay, he's the one when they won. The Cavs won. I think it was in 16.
If it tells you anything about Ty Lue, LeBron picked Darvin Ham over Ty Lue.
And Ham sucked, dude. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Darvin Ham, exactly. Darvin Ham is standing somewhere right now with his hands in his freaking pockets. That probably don't mean anything to y'all, but Thomas gets it.
Hey, I know we're getting ready to get off here, but I just thought of this, and 'cause it's kind of relevant to what we're talking about. We're talking about trade deadlines, and we're talking about the big trade that happened with Luka. I kind of thought about this while we're talking, and it's kind of like the question that you had put in the group, the championship question. But instead, if you could have now, or even in history, if you could have made a trade for a certain player, who would it have been in any sport? I sat here and think about it, and if you could just pick anybody, I would probably pick those Super Bowl years that we had Garoppolo, and any quarterback really that was somewhat decent. But also trying to think of one that would have been attainable. Like probably Rodgers in those years because he was on the trade block there at one time. That was before his big decline. I think that would have probably been maybe mine off the top of my head.
Pause real quick. The next time we do this, we need to go through the quarterbacks on the market and where we think they're going to go, because I think that's very interesting.
I think we need
Coming
to do
up, you got Sam,
Stafford.
Rodgers, Geno Atkins.
Rodgers gonna stay
I
on the
think
Jets.
He ain't
I
staying
think.
with the Jets.
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
so. We'll talk about that later.
I agree.
I would say give me whoever the best right tackle in the NFL was in 2015. Give me
Stop
that guy.
falling.
Put him on.
Yeah, I would have.
I
I
hate
would like
that
to
name.
trade all backup running backs in 2021 for nobody, so that Joe Mixon was forced to be on the field on 3rd and 3.
That's
or,
called cash
final
consideration.
drive.
Every one of us,
Yeah.
Rusty hasn't got the answer yet, but have went to the Super Bowl. Our Super Bowl pains is where we've tried to address our pain with, yeah.
It's the worst.
Actually, yeah.
Firmly
I would
believe
change
it's the
mine.
worst night of my life.
Instead of Samaje Perine getting traded, I would actually the offensive lineman, whoever was lined up on Aaron Donald in that final play. That's who I would have traded. That offensive line. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times when we played the Titans in the playoffs that year. He averaged 6 sacks a game that whole season. I would just the one that lined up on Aaron Donald, I would have traded him for any other offensive lineman
Literally
ever
anybody.
in the history of the NFL.
We also
Because Jamar Chase, the corner on Jamar Chase fell down on that play. And Jamar Chase was just running down the field wide open for a game-winning touchdown. But Aaron Donald got to Joe Burrow in 0.2 seconds.
we
Wasn't in the
we
script,
also
man.
could have requested Patrick Mahomes to just be traded to any sucky team, and me and you both, Thomas, probably would have had at least one by now.
Well, he's only beaten us once in the playoffs. We've had his number in the playoffs.
We haven't.
I'm not worried about Patrick Mahomes, honestly.
I'm not either on. I got Bryce Young. I'm fine.
What about you, Russ?
He's
You
not
tell me
seasoned
you're
like
not
an
a Georgia-
hour.
some
It's a
collegiate
great.
player. Here is it.
It's not gonna be nothing Georgia. It's not gonna be anything Georgia. I want to go. I wasn't even alive back then, but
Oh, Jesus Christ.
well, I mean, it's been since 1973 since Miami's won a Super Bowl, and it's been since 1984 since we've been to a Super Bowl, and that was when we lost to the 49ers.
You could have just said, I wish Devontae Smith didn't go to
I
Alabama.
wish we had a quarterback that
I mean-
wouldn't, have brain dead before
I
the
wish
playoffs. That one
Tua
year.
wasn't.
I mean, I wish Tua Tagovailoa wouldn't have came into the game in 2018 whenever they beat
What a
Georgia.
fun night that was. That was a
That, when we were going to do the top 10 championships, that was my number one. The top 10 championships that we could
Oh, listen.
I'm very
argument,
excited for that.
I already
That's
had
my
an Uno
number
reverse
one.
card laid on that one.
That to
I have
me is the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever like
should
sports
be.
related. It's I still feel sick.
Should be. It
Thinking
was
about it.
embarrassing.
But I was gonna say I wish that the '83 Dolphins would have traded for Eric Dickerson, so we could have had a run game back then. So we wouldn't have lost by 3 touchdowns.
How much do you think that would have kept you close to us?
Well, I think we had a run game. It would have opened the passing game a lot more for Miami, because that's one thing that they've always been. That's one thing about the '80s. They were always like, well, "We don't have a run game. We don't have a run game."
You still had to stop
So
Jerry
Dan
and
Marino's
Joe.
having to throw. Yeah, but man, I think if you open the offense up a little bit, Dan Marino's he was the MVP that year.
Yeah, overrated.
I mean, he had Mark Duper and Mark Clayton. I mean, they were both good. I mean, I think if you had a great running back, I think we would have been. I think it'd been a lot closer to the game. But I wasn't born. so I
Eli
don't know.
probably, honestly,
I mean-
was probably a better quarterback than Dan in the grand scheme of that.
You were absolutely insane.
How many Super Bowls does Dan have?
Don't ever say that kind of blasphemous
How many
thing
Super Bowls
ever.
does Dan have?
Don't ever. Don't
Eli's got
start
two.
Yeah. Well, there's a
that'll
lot
be
of
the next
players.
podcast.
There's a lot of players that have Super Bowls that probably shouldn't have Super Bowls.
That'll be the
Isn't
next
that what Cam
podcast. We'll
Newton said
debate that.
Well, yeah.
Cam Newton said that he would rather have the
MVP, yeah.
MVP
Yeah.
over Super Bowl, because look at how many players that have a Super Bowl.
Well,
They
Cam,
really-
you think Cam's MVP season is probably better than Dan's MVP season?
I don't know. I wasn't alive.
He's just
Cam Newton, yeah, it was a hell of a season.
Who's a better quarterback? I mean, Dan Marino is a better quarterback than Cam Newton.
Cameron Jarrell Newton.
well. I mean,
And it's not
that
close.
season might have been, I don't know. I don't think. I'll just say this. I'll say that I think Dan's probably right there with Trent Dilfer, and then I think we
You're
probably can work our way from there and see.
Rusty, it's just like anything else. It's just not what they had or what they have now.
well, okay.
Like it's
so
not. There's
is
not
Joe
even the
Na-
same sport.
Is so Joe
You're the one
Montana's
that's-
not-
Yeah, but he won so many.
like, are you
No,
gonna
I don't
say
think Joe
won so
Montana will
many
be that
Super
good
Bowls,
today.
though. I mean, kind of like you kind of had to get. You
Look
have
at
to
their
give him his
team.
flowers.
Look at their
But like
team.
Dan, the best thing
He had the greatest receiver on
the
his
best
team.
thing I remember about Dan Marino
He had Robbie
was that I
Lott.
think he was on one of the Bad Boys movies. They used his car at the.
Oh my God!
His greatest accomplishment.
That's the only thing I remember.
Shit.
Listen, I can't argue because I wasn't alive to see it. It's kind of like the Jordan debate. Like, there's no point in me sitting here saying, "Yeah, Jordan's better than LeBron." I mean, I know everybody has
Well,
that argument. I didn't
But
watch.
Jordan's won a lot
Jordan.
of titles
The only
too.
game I ever
We're just
remember
making the
watching-
argument if he was good or
Jordan's
not.
not better than LeBron.
Well, but-
Jordan's not better.
But I can't make that argument of saying, yeah, like I seen Jordan play. Like the only game I ever watched him play in, I was like 6 years old.
Do
He
you
played for the
think
Wizards.
Dan's like
So like I can't make
Dan's
that
like his
argument.
career's probably propped up like a lot more than what it should be, just because they haven't had anything. The whole like organization, like the history of the organization. Yeah,
What are you
I was
asking?
just saying that he's, the one like bright spot at quarterback through their whole.
I
whole
think Dan
thing.
Marino, if Dan Marino played today, Dan Marino would be probably the best quarterback in the league because of how they protect the quarterbacks.
You think?
Like he didn't have
I think he'd be
didn't
Kirk
have
Cousins.
the refs protecting him.
I don't think he'd be Kurt good. I think
He
that's a
would be-
stretch.
No,
I think he's Dak.
Dak would be.
dude, he is.
I think he's Dak.
Dak had some good numbers.
But Dak's
oh
not
my God,
good.
y'all are just trolling me now. It's all hard.
Does anyone think Dak's good?
Like a Brian Hoyer, really.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy
Oh, okay.
Clausen.
Skylar Thompson.
A solid Kyle
Yeah.
Orton.
Yeah, y'all are just messing with me now. Like, there are plenty of
Bailey
experts out
Zappi.
there that have said that Dan Marino would be crazy in today's game. He was.
Jay Cutler without cigarettes.
Kind of like Jake Delhomme. They're pretty similar.
Nah, it's
Wow.
disrespectful to Jake.
It's all right, Richie.
Real quick, before we head out, the Luka trade was surprising, but why? What the Brandon Ingram trade? Why?
I
like
don't
for
know.
both teams. It doesn't make any sense.
Where did he end up at? I saw that. I think it was like a
Toronto.
Yeah, because was that where? That's not the trade that sent DeRozan to Sacramento, was it? Because it was like, I know it was like a big like 3-team trade or something.
Yeah, that was a big trade too. But no, this was. I mean, that was just random. I didn't even know about it till like the first notification I got on it was like 18 hours after it happened. It was so random.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio
That's
trade.
a really good
But do
trade.
you think it's going to
Really good
work?
trade.
Like,
Mhm.
you think it's going to work better when Chris Paul's gone? I feel like you have two guys that are
Maybe.
primary ball handlers, but
Yeah, primary ball handlers. Yeah, maybe. He needs Chris Paul there, I think, for the first couple of years. Because once Chris, because he'll help Fox with the pick and roll, like teaching him how to read the pick and roll, read the defense. Once they get that pick and roll down, it's going to be tough. Because De'Aaron Fox is so fast. If he can time up the pick and roll, him coming off the screen hard, you're just going to have to choose. Like, are you going to slide over and pick him up, or are you going to let the alien get an alley-oop? So
Wemby is like, he could have reignited my fanhood. If he would have went to Charlotte, like I probably would have been.
You got Brandon Miller.
So we probably had 100 Brandon Millers over.
I
the
always,
last 2
every time
years.
his name gets mentioned, he's a killer.
He is.
Cameron.
He
He's
is.
a
Well, I mean,
killer.
He's good
killer.
at.
Like I have wore that joke
He's
out.
good at. He's good at giving the ingredients for
Rusty,
the action.
God
I don't know
almighty.
that he committed the slaying of what you're saying, but I think that he gave the
was
person
committed.
the tools. I think.
he's got the
Yeah,
right weapons.
yeah.
He's got the right weapons.
He's
is what
a
I'm saying.
weapon. He's a
I
weapon.
guess
He's got the right.
I mean, I'm
weapons to
glad
get
that
him
we
back,
didn't
yeah.
go with the guy I wanted at that point. Like once Wemby was out of the picture, I thought I can't remember his name now. The dude that was for the he didn't play college ball, but he played in that other league. He was a guard. It was like he had some weird name like Scoop or something.
Scooter
It
Henderson.
might have been Scoop
Scooter
Henderson.
Anderson.
Yeah, he was. That was who I wanted to get.
Scoot.
Yeah.
With a T,
Oh,
like a
Scoot. Oh, Scooter.
It really, honestly, doesn't matter who you guys drafted. They would have been bad. You guys could have drafted Wemby, and he would have been terrible.
Well,
If you draft Wemby, he sucks.
I think he's still good, but
That's-
I think the issue is no matter who we get, they're going to be gone. Like Ball's not going to be there forever. That's the thing that I struggle with the NBA.
He said he
Well, they
wanted to
all
be.
say that. Like that's the thing I struggle with the NBA is you don't get that. Like now more than ever, I feel like your top teams are like really your top teams that are just stuck there. Like the Lakers. I mean, y'all just keep getting guys that like through trades and stuff. But
There is nobody that we
I know,
cannot
that's what I'm
get.
saying.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the defending champions right now, we
Well,
drafted.
You all
Tatum
were
and
different,
Brown.
but I mean, but you all also like I don't know. I feel like Boston does have a sense of loyalty to a degree because the organization is.
I don't know. I think what you're. I agree with what you're saying a little bit. I think it's changed of late though. When you look at the Nuggets and Jokic, like they drafted Jokic and he's not really going
Murray.
anywhere, and he's gonna keep them relevant. The Milwaukee and Giannis, like nobody wants to live in Milwaukee, but they won a championship.
What you're saying is, that then if we would have got Wemby, that could have been the start of our story. Like
I'm just saying, you guys would have made. You would have made him bad. Is what I'm saying.
him and Ball would have.
I
Been
mean this
together.
with all due respect to you and everybody related to within the Charlotte Hornets organization and everyone who lives in Charlotte other than David Tepper and like everything teal and white and whatever y'all's colors are. I don't even know. Since the Mark Williams trade, a big podcast guy.
That didn't go through.
The one thing that I've what?
That didn't go through. They voided that. I seen the notification.
Yeah, we talked about that when you were trying to figure out how to turn the camera on, Rusty.
It was just so funny because I felt like he was waiting for that. Like it was like that. It's like that I got you moment. He's that I know, but it was just so direct.
I was
It was like
listening.
You ever watch like it comes on TV all the time as a commercial, like Tom Cruise in that Lawyer movie, and he makes like that big old like statement. That's how like you were, like your eyes. Like, I didn't go through. It didn't go through.
What do you mean it didn't?
Listen, I'm tired.
But
Okay?
anyways, like the one thing that I have gathered from the last like 3 days of whenever Mark Williams used to be a Laker was like how poorly run the Hornets are. Like,
Yeah.
if there's anything wrong with Mark Williams, it's because
we
of the Hornets.
apparently had this guy
Yeah.
on.
It's like, well, like
I was on roster, but
AD's last game as a Laker was against the Hornets. AD scored like 45 and grabbed 20 boards. And they're like, well, I mean, if you're Mark Williams, why would you want to play defense on that team?
I was gonna say he was on the
So-
roster there, but you know when he went somewhere else, he felt like the physical, like multiple different things. So
Apparently it was pretty bad from, I've been checking it here the last, since we've been on, it's
at
apparently
this
it's pretty
point, we
bad.
just need to like disband the team, move it to Pilgrim's Knob.
Sell it to David Tepper. I'm sure he'll do
I was
great
gonna
things
move
with it.
over to Southwest
Pilgrim's
Virginia.
Knob.
Yeah, let's bring it over here. Play some good,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
physical-
You guys drafted Adam Morrison over Brandon Roy.
You guys
And
drafted
then-
Kobe and traded him for
didn't he
Vlade.
complain and like got his way out?
And also,
Mm.
we tried.
Yeah,
we
but-
offered the draft picks that ended up being Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for Justice Winslow. We wanted to move
Yeah,
up and
I
draft
remember
Justice
that
Winslow,
incident.
and you guys
Yeah.
rejected it, and we ended up with Tatum and
Yeah,
Brown.
I
with those
remember that
picks.
year.
So
That was a very that year was very. I was really into it then. When that happened, I was like shocked whenever you heard the results of it or the details of it, I guess.
yeah,
Well, guys, I think this was a good first episode.
Season 1, episode
Yep,
1
episode
in the
1
book.
in the books. For anybody that does happen to watch this, we might not always have the same people on. You know, we kind of talked about beforehand. Even if Thomas one weekend wants to get on and it's, you know, just Logan and maybe Jamar. I mean, just if that's the case, then, you know, they might get on that one night. It's just, you know, I feel like whenever we feel like wanting to chat it up with some of our buddies and stuff, I think it's be a good opportunity to do that. So the guests we'll have will, you know, change, but it'll mostly center around us four, and also at Jamar and John. That's be the main ones. I don't know that unless Tyler makes a rare appearance.
I'm going to get Tilo on. He told me a couple weeks ago, he said, man, I want to get him on there, but he said, I just sound so funny. I said, Tyler, I said, have you ever heard Cameron
Yeah, I
and
mean,
Jeremiah
at
speak?
that point, you.
What are
Coach
you
Moore
worried
said
about?
it in the interview with Jay Moore. He said, "Who would have ever thought that you two would be doing a podcast?" So, yeah, I mean, and this one, you know, is just gonna be on YouTube, and we'll have it on Spotify. It's not like he has to worry about. I guess somebody could always watch it, but I'm not like broadcasting it on Facebook to all their, you know, family that's gonna look at it as soon as it comes on. I just kind of wanted it to be more free flowing and goofing off, and everybody kind of letting loose as much as they can. You know, I don't know that I'll edit out anything unless y'all specifically tell me something you want me to edit out. But anyway, one thing I do want to do, and we'll have an episode before then, but when the draft comes, I'd love to do a live stream or even if it doesn't even have to be live, just even record during it. I think that would be awesome. I'd like to go next
be
year
good.
too. If y'all ever, if you think that's something you'd want to do, Pittsburgh,
Where's that next year?
not very often. It's somewhat close, so it'd be fun. But anyway, I'll go ahead and stop the recording and talk after. But thank y'all for watching.